One thing that I like about Stellaris a lot are the species portraits. Honestly, I think I've spent a lot of time just looking through every portrait, observing their animations, and trying to imagine how these species will live or function as a society. What I'm going to do in this video is rank the species portraits in Stellaris based solely on their appearance. Of course, there is going to be a lot of personal bias involved in this, but hey, it only makes sense. Okay, so let's see. Humans are S tier. Everyone else is E tier. Undesirables. That's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, I'd like to thank my members for supporting me. If you'd like to join them, you can do so through the join button below. I hope you have a good night, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye. Okay, now that the fanatic xenophobes left the video, we can actually start ranking xenos. So, first one is obviously humans. Yeah, I placed them in S tier because obviously humans, but I'm going to be completely honest. I think a bit overrated. I'm actually going to put humans in A for full citizenship. I think it's just a feeling of belonging, but I think as a species, we are just really overrated in terms of looks. Following next is the other humans. Yeah, there are two human portraits in Stellaris for some reason. The second portrait for humans looks, or well, it looks different from the first one, kind of like older, not worse, but older. So I'm going to assume that this was like an older version of the first portrait, and I think they just kept it. It's probably that. You can tell me in the comments if that's the reason, otherwise I cannot explain why they will have two human portraits in the game. Anyway, I think it looks pretty good. I think it actually might look slightly better than the newer one or the first one. Not that much of a difference, so I'm still gonna give it an A tier. Next is these guys. I call them Giroans. I know you'll hear me call Xenos names based on like what they were called in my previous playthroughs, so I tend to give them names. You'll hear me refer to them in a certain way. Anyway, I call these guys the Giroans. I don't like their design at all. It's not the worst design, but I am not a big fan of it. I think I'm gonna place them in D tier. Following next, I don't even know what to call these Xenos. Something nanites in the elf sector. They look pretty cool. They look kind of cool. I like the design. They're bold, but hey, I mean, they look like your average sci-fi alien, but that's not a bad thing. I think I'm going to give them at least B tier. Why not? Another very cliche, typical alien from sci-fi movies. These are kind of like whatever. I like the previous guys better. I'm giving them the C tier. Space elves. Okay, technically, if you like elves, this is the character portrait to go. But I don't like elves. So yeah. Straight up E tier, undesirables. I don't want no elves in my galactic empire. Devils. They are clearly inspired and meant to be devils. I'm not sure where exactly I will place these guys. I don't have any strong opinion on them. They kinda ugly. Maybe they could have worked on the horns design a little bit better. I don't know what to say. I think I'm just gonna slap them in D tier. They're kind of like whatever. Yeah, you already know where these guys are going. E tier. I don't want to see them ever again. Like ever again. I don't even know what they're meant to represent. They feel like just the male version of these Xenos. They look really similar, except the head is shaped a little bit different. No strong opinions. There is nothing cool or unique or special about them. They're not the worst, they're not the best. I think D tier, indenture servitude, blah, whatever. I'd keep them as slaves maybe. Ooh, these guys are fancy. They look threatening. Definitely seeing a Xeno Empire with the species portrait, I will not assume that they are pacifists. They look like warriors. And I do like this like purple shade or hue that they have over their head. Yeah, I do like them. I do like them. I think I'm gonna place them in B tier. It's a cool design. I like it. Okay, these guys I hate with a passion. I hate everything about them. I hate their mouth. I hate their nose. I hate how unfitting the human ears are with that weirdly shaped head. I hate how their eyes are just not even looking straight. They just sometimes do that weird animation where the left eye or like the right eye goes sideways. I don't like them at all. I think they could be some of my most disliked species in the entire galaxy. Yeah, I am placing them straight up in E tier. Again, I don't have any strong opinions on this one. It's whatever, kind of. I would say probably C tier. They do like inspire me more than the ones in D tier. I'll place them in C tier. I don't get what the deal with these guys is supposed to be. They look kind of like horned devils, but not at the same time. They seem more like a copy or variations of these guys, but a bit worse. I would say probably D tier as well. There's really nothing special about them. Space dwarves, yeah, I do like space dwarves. Space dwarves is a really cool concept. Yeah, I'm all for the space dwarves. The design is pretty good. I can't say that it's not. I think I'm gonna place them in B tier. I do like the space dwarves. They're pretty cool. Space orcs. Yeah, this gives a Warhammer 40k vibe. Definitely if you're going for a Warhammer 40k orcs, greenskins, roleplay kind of empire, this is the empire or the species portrait to go for. Yeah, I like them. They're cool. They're cool. I'm placing them in B tier. The Cyclops, they look very questionable. The eye is just staring at me constantly, and their head just has this weird shape and color. They make me feel uncomfortable. They make me feel really uncomfortable, but I cannot deny that the design looks pretty good. They still make me feel really uncomfortable. I'm gonna place them in C tier, and just in a room where they can't look at me. I don't want them looking at me. Just that. The squid people. I refer to these species as the squid people. I think they look better than the ones in the C tier. Still not an A tier, but definitely B tier. I'm gonna place them in B tier for sure. Okay, this species, I'm not sure what they're supposed to be. They have this skin that's like really rocky, almost scaly. I think they will fit better as reptilians, but they also got these elf-like ears. I'm not sure what they're meant to be, what they're meant to represent, what they're inspired from. I do like their design though. I do like their design, and I think I'll be placing them in B tier. I don't like these guys at all. Their head is weird. It's really weirdly shaped. It looks mushy. It looks like the soft spot on a baby. And I think the first thing I will do if I met these guys in the galaxy is I will just use my thumb to press on their head and see just how soft that spot is. They're not the worst design, but they're not the best either. I think I'm going to put them in D tier. They're kind of meh. Not much to say about them. Okay, let's go for machines. Alright, These guys, they look really basic. There isn't much to say about them, but that's what I like about them. Machines are supposed to be simple. Unlike a lot of people, I don't like when robots or machines look needlessly complicated or have too many details on them. I think it's cooler when they just look really simple. I am going to place them on C tier. They're okay. I like them. Okay, out of all of the machines, of every single machine species portrait in the game, this one, the one meant for mammalians, it's my favorite. I love their design. I love their color. I love how simple and yet fancy and sophisticated they look like. I love everything about them. I am placing these guys on S tier. I absolutely love this design. It's by far the best machine design in the game. Okay, these guys I don't like. Look, I think that the design in itself, it's pretty cool, right? You have all of these tubes or wires that they're connected to, probably as a power source. But my question is, how do they fare in terms of mobility? How do they move around? How do they work? It doesn't look like an efficient design for a machine unless those wires are tentacles that allow them to move around, which I don't think they are. I think they're just wires used as a power source. I am not a big fan of them. They look kind of like a species that wouldn't be able to do any menial work, such as mining, but they will be perfect just sitting in a controlled room, banging away at stuff, being connected to the Matrix. Yeah, I'm placing them on D tier. I'm not a big fan of their design. This species portrait reminds me heavily of the robots from Ultra Kill, and you cannot convince me otherwise. They look threatening. They look like they're about to toss a coin up in the air and shoot it and have the coin bounce back straight into my face, exploding me in a million pieces. They're threatening, and their design is pretty good. I'll be placing them in A tier. I do like their design a lot. Okay, this goes back to what I said about the guys with the wire. I don't like this design either. They're kind of like flying around. I don't see how they will be able to do tasks such as mining, growing crops. I mean, maybe they have hands they can pick up stuff with. They can cut them with their other hands or pinchers, if that's the correct term. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of their design. I think I'm gonna put them in E tier. I don't like them. This design I'm very conflicted about. On one hand, I do like the idea of a robot just being this sphere of energy that floats around and has a lot of tentacles. On the other hand, I find it to be quite an inefficient and silly design. They look extremely fragile. They look not good at doing any sort of manual labor other than just, you know, sitting somewhere and giving orders and calculating stuff. I'm not a big fan of them. I think I'll place them in D tier for now. These ones, I don't even get how they're supposed to operate. I don't see their legs. I don't see anything about them. I assume they just float and they use their tentacles to do stuff. What I'm gonna say is that, again, same issue as before. They don't look like they will be too dexterous at doing anything. Their head is too big. Their tentacles look non-opposable. They don't look like they could be opposable. Maybe when they open up a bit, maybe they could make them opposable. Still, I don't like their design at all. Think I'm gonna place them in D tier. The ant robots, they remind me of ants. They just look like hyper technologically advanced ants. Like if ants gained sentience and then just transferred their minds and a hive-like consciousness. Which makes sense. I suppose makes sense for robots to be like this. They're okay. They definitely look like working drones. These are the kind of robots that I would place within an underground mine to just collect minerals for me. Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. I'm giving them the C tier. Okay, these guys, I love their design. I love how they have that little green on them. They feel very, very ancient, What I don't like is that they don't fit at all as worker robots. If I ever get in my empire worker robots, I am never using this portrait, not because I don't like them, because they will fit as working robots. It's just that they look ancient. They look like they were created by a past civilization and just left to rot and just recently got reactivated. And the fact that they have all of that green on them, it looks like they were abandoned. Now, if I had a galactic empire and I had a lot of robot workers, they wouldn't look like that. They wouldn't have all of that green on top of them. They will be cleaned and shined and all of that. They seem fit to be their own thing rather than being part of another empire, if you get what I'm trying to say. But I do still like their design a lot. I'm placing them in C tier. The spider robots. Yeah, I hate everything about their design. They feel clunky. There's really nothing unique about them. They pulsate really, really weirdly. I'm slapping them in E tier. The aquatic robots, they look really, really cool. They look really mysterious, like ancient beings. They almost don't look like robots, though. That is my only complaint about them. They don't look like robots. I see no circuitry. I see nothing in terms of a machine. Their limbs look like they will be able to bend very easily. There is nothing mechanical about them. If they were not into the machine section of the game, I wouldn't have guessed that they belong as machines, that they are robots. I would have never guessed. But I still like their design. So I'm gonna place them in B tier. These guys I don't like. I don't like their animations, how they just move suddenly like that. They have these weird jerking like motions. I don't like them. They feel like they're broken and inefficient. Please, please, please fix them. I am going to place them in the D tier. Okay, this is my second favorite robot design by far. These are the epitome of worker robots. If I get worker robots in my empire, they don't have full AI rights. They are not independent. They're just there to work. They're just there to do tasks. I'm a materialist. I use robot workforce. This is the design I am going for. I love this design. It is fantastic. It is simple and yet it looks efficient. So I am going to place them into S tier. I love everything about this design and how simple it is and yet how effective it is. Now onto the mammalian species portraits. Okay, we have these weird monkey-likes. Xenos, they have 4 eyes. They remind me, you know what they remind me of? They remind me of Spider Monkey from Ben 10, if you remember that blue spider monkey. Still, I don't really like their design, like, at all, so I'm gonna place them into E tier. These guys, there's absolutely nothing special about them. They're not the worst, they're not the best, they're kind of there. D tier, whatever. Back in the 90s, I was in a very famous TV show. Yeah, Bojack the Horseman, he is going into D tier because this design looks horrendous. Space cats or space lions. This species heavily reminds me of the space lion cat from Invincible from the first season, if you remember that guy, the one that absolutely trashed Invincible. I like them. They look like honor-bound warriors. They look like they will be able to pack a punch. I do like their design. I do like how strong they feel. I am going to place them into B tier. I feel like they belong there. The Igarians. I call them Igarians because I had a playthrough where they were a fallen empire. They had this species portrait and they were called Igarian Vestige. And then in another playthrough, they showed up as another regular empire, and they were called something something, the Aegarian United something. So it seems like the game just has a preference towards calling this species Aegarians, so that's how I'm going to refer to them forever now, because I got used to that. I like their design. I think they're supposed to be like anteaters, just very evolved anteaters. But I like the color of their fur. I like their design a lot. I like the shape of their head. I am placing them into A tier. I really, really like the Aegarians. The boars. Okay, if there was ever a mammalian militaristic police state, you can be sure that these are the guys who are going to run it. There isn't much to say about them. They will be delicious as bacon, subsistence as a, you know, living rights or purge. They're just there, kind of. I'm placing them into D tier. These guys I don't really like at all. The portrait is kind of bland. There's absolutely nothing special about them. They don't remind me of any animal. They're just kind of there. They just exist. They look like they're just fillers. They're like, whatever. I don't like them. They're going to E tier. They're undesirables. I don't want to see them. The Rimworld Mega Sloth evolved and became a space-faring empire. They look very silly. I love them. I love these guys. They look like absolute goobers, and they're the first one to go into the special goober category. The goober category is not below E and is not in between nothing. It's just its own special category. It's the one that I assigned to species that I think look silly, they look funny, and I love them on another whole level. I probably wouldn't play as them, but if I ever found these species in a playthrough, I will do everything in my power to try and protect them, because they just look absolutely blasting funny. I love them. I love these guys. The Zootopia Furry Fox. The icon of the mercantile traditions. Yeah, they do like merchants. They do look like merchants. They look like they are about to offer you a good trade deal. They're okay. They're okay. I can't say much about this species portrait. I think I'm gonna place them into C tier. They're okay. Okay, these guys, they're just the same as these other guys. I don't really care about them. They don't look cool. They don't look unique. And I think they're just for filler. They're going to E tier. Yeah, same as these guys. They're just long-necked and they have weird shapes. I don't like them. E tier. The design of this species absolutely disgusts me. There is one thing I like and one thing I heavily hate about them. I love their big schnauzer. They have a gigantic nose. It looks absolutely hilarious. They also have 2 nostrils on the side, so I would assume that there is 2 more on the other side, a total of 4 nostrils. And they also have 3 eyes, so I'm assuming they have a total of 6 eyes. But what is really funny to think about this species is I imagine that they look exactly like this, and they're not symmetrical at all. They just have 3 eyes on the right side of their face, and that's it. They don't have eyes on the left side. They cannot see anything on the left side of their field of view. And that just amuses me. The thought, I know it's probably not like this, but the thought amuses me. Otherwise, I deeply dislike their design. I don't like it. It doesn't look cool. I'm placing them into E tier. Okay, yeah. Weird combination between a mammal and an insect. They look weak, they look bad, they look ugly. I'm giving them the E tier. I don't like them. Same as these guys. I don't like them at all. They look like warriors. They look ugly. I think they will fit more as necroids rather than mammalians. I don't know what kind of mammalians or what kind of animals these guys are inspired from. Placing them into E tier. I don't like them at all. They're just, Look at them. A lot of mammalians are going to the E tier. I think they just kind of fumbled the design of that one. Flying giraffe monkey. Okay, I think that the fact that they have wings makes their design a little bit better. It makes their design a little bit better, the fact that they have wings. Without wings, they will have looked extremely generic. I like it. I like the fact that they have wings. I'm gonna place them into D tier. If they didn't have wings, I would have placed them into E tier. It's Zeno the Platypus? It's Zeno the Periplatypus? What is this? Okay, yeah, I don't like their eyes. Their eyes look really weird, and the way that they expand, I don't think it's even their eyes. I think they're breathing. They're breathing through that. They remind me of the eye hole man from Rick and Morty. They've come to collect my eye holes. Oh, they look horrific. They look horrendous. They're going to eat her. I'm purging them. I'm purging them as soon as possible. The Rackets, my dear friends. Okay, they are obviously the star snoused mole, that one mole that lives in the desert. They're obviously what they've been inspired from. I do like them. I do like them a lot. I think that their species portrait fits very well in the role that they're usually given, and that is of, you know, usually just being a mercantile type of empire or just traveling merchants. Yeah, I do like these guys a lot. I am going to give them the B tier. They look really, really cute and really cool. This one I don't understand how this is a mammalian. They look like predators from the shape of their mouth or snout. I don't understand how they breathe. They don't seem to have a nose, so they're obviously mouth breathers. But what I was saying is that they look like predators, but they have their eyes sideways. So makes me think that probably they're vegetarian. They also have quills, so I think they're supposed to be some kind of evolved hedgehog. Still, I don't like their design that much. I'm gonna place them into E tier. I don't really like them. Following next, the reptilians. Okay, I don't know why these guys are placed into the reptilian category. I mean, I guess they're reptiles. What I think they would have fit more was into the humanoid category, but to each their own. I am definitely placing them into D tier. There's nothing special about them, but we've seen designs that are far worse. These guys, I don't like them at all. There's nothing cool or good about them. They look extremely generic. They look aggressive. They look bad. E tier. Ancient turtles. These guys, 100% full pacifist, fanatic pacifist and spiritualist empire. 100%. Okay, space turtles. I like the idea of space turtles. I'm gonna give them the C tier. They're there. Oh man, look at these guys. Absolute goobers. Okay, it's their eyes. It's their eyes that just sells it to me. Look at their eyes. It just sells the idea of being absolute goobers. Yeah, must protect them at any cost. Oh, what's the deal with these guys? Are we sure they're reptilians? They look like a weird mix between an avian, they don't have wings, and a mammalian, but their skin is kind of rough. I don't get what their deal is. E tier. I don't like their design. Okay, I wanted to say that I thought that these guys will belong into the aquatic species because they reminded me of anglerfishes. But then I remember that there is lizards that live in the desert and they look exactly like this, so it kind of makes sense. I mean, their design looks really aggressive, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. They're decent. They're not there yet, but they're decent. I'm gonna place them into C tier, I think. Yeah, I like them more than the guys in the D tier. Oh, hey, it's Montu Place. Yeah, Montu, I don't know why you chose this specific species as your main logo or as your main species, I believe. There is nothing cool about them. I'm sorry. It's a bit of an L. A bit of a big L there. Placing them into E tier. Frog. They are just frogs. Mercantile. 100%, they look like a mercantile empire. They look like they will offer you a good deal. They look like they will just try to buy you out. Yeah, I like their design. Frog guys, I am placing them into D tier. They're okay. These guys, I don't like them. I don't like them at all. E tier. This looks just like a rework of the mammalians I've talked about before, the one that look like hedgehogs. They're just like a rework of them, but more like alligators, but they're kind of like shaped the same. I don't like them, so I'm placing next to them into the E tier. Hey, I like their smile. They got that $1,000,000 smile. They look like they could sell me anything, and just now I am observing that. Look at their neck. You can see through their neck. You can literally see their spine. Okay, that is a cool detail that I did not notice until now. Okay, yeah, they're pretty cool. I am placing them into C tier. Oh man, don't. They look weird. What's with their head? What's going on in there? Those rocks? Are those scales? I don't like them. E tier. Hey, geckos. Okay. Yeah, they're just geckos. Nothing special about them. Could have been worse, I guess. D tier. I like these guys' design. It's different. I kind of like how their mouth just splits into three. They look kind of okay. Nothing much to say about them. Think they belong into D tier. They look like a star, like a starfish, kind of. Their face reminds me of a starfish. I mean, they're okay. Nothing much else to say about them. D tier. Okay, these guys, normally I will place them into the goobers section, but there is just something unsettling about them. I can't place my finger. I can't tell exactly what. They look extremely cute. They look extremely innocent. But for some reason, that makes them look even more threatening. They look like the kind of alien that will approach you with a smile and then just eat you. They terrify me on a whole other level, and I cannot understand why. I'm placing them into E tier. I'm gonna purge these guys from my empire. I don't want to see them. They look unsettling. It's so weird. These guys, they're like dragons, I guess, kind of like fairies and dragons. It's like if you mixed a bunch of lizards with like dragons and fairies and give them plant wings, and that's what they'd look like. I mean, their design is okay, but I think they've overdone it a bit too much on the wings, and the body itself looks really small and awkward, but they still got that uniqueness about them, so I'm placing them into D tier. Now it's time for the avians. Let's see. Okay, I like this guy's beak. How it basically splits into 4 different crab-like appendages to feed. And it's just not a normal beak. I do like them. I'm gonna place them into C tier. They're pretty cool. These guys I don't like. They look old. They look nasty. They look annoying to be around of. Yeah, nah. I think D tier or like whatever. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, L design. E tier, 100%. I don't like them at all. Birds, more birds. I mean, obviously we're doing avians. I mean, they're okay. D tier. These guys I like. Not because they're just essentially giant tucanos, but because they are the only species that I've noticed that they have a space helmet on. Why do they have a space helmet? What's the deal? No one else has a space helmet. Even when they're like in their main habitable world, they just have a space helmet. Are they just really eager to explore the space? Or are they just all LARPing as a bunch of astronauts? I do like the addition of the space helmet. Makes them feel pretty unique. Definitely looks like the kind of a mercantile type of aliens. I will see them aboard of like mercantile ships trying to sell me something, but I do like their design a lot. I'm gonna place them into A tier actually. I do like their design a lot. Ancient guys, 100%. They look like spiritualists. They look like fanatic spiritualists. Whatever. I think D tier fits them. It's nothing else much to say about them. They do be thinking, they do be pondering, and they do be considering their options. Yeah, they're okay. Kind of like chickens. They look like chickens. I think D tier. Alright. Penguins. Or further tucanos. I don't know exactly. I'm not that good at birds. They're like, whatever. D tier. I don't know what to say about these guys. I don't really like their design. I think they're gonna go into E tier. Not much to say. I like these guys' designs. I even had a playthrough of these guys. They are the ones shown in the origins for the Payback trailer that they got enslaved by the MSI. But I do like their design. I do like their color. I do like that they have 4 eyes and still look like relatively normal parrots. Yeah, I think I'm gonna place them into C tier. Actually, they're not that bad. These guys, nothing really special about them. I think I'm gonna place them into D tier. They're like whatever. Okay, these I don't understand. How are they avians? They don't even have wings. They have tentacles for arms. They have a rocky face. They look like a mix between a reptilian and, you know, it's like a lithoid. I mean, I guess that they are avians because they have feathers, but I guess that means they lay eggs. They're weird. I mean, D tier, I suppose. I don't like their design. I don't know what they're supposed to be. I'm gonna place them into E tier. Yeah, same as these guys. E tier. Yo, Cyclops chickens. Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna put these guys into D tier. They're okay. Okay, I know it has nothing to do with it, but this species reminds me of that guy from Star Wars. Nevertheless, they look rather unique. I don't get why I think they're the only ones not wearing clothes. Oh, never mind, these guys are also not wearing clothes. I guess they're not ashamed with their body. I mean, that's good. Self-confidence is a strong thing, but not strong enough to overcome this horrible design. D tier. Hey, these guys look absolutely fantastic. Spiritualists, 100%. They look like spiritualists. I'm gonna place them into C tier. I do like how colorful they are. Yeah, I do like them a lot. And now it's time for arthropoids. You know, the ones that you usually find as belonging to hive minds. I am going to place these guys into the C tier. I like their design a lot. Okay, there is also this blue owl that I've added. Thing is, the blue owl, this one is going straight up into E tier. And not because the design is bad, but because you can only get this species portraits, from what I understand. Maybe I'm mistaken, but from what I understand, you get this species portrait if you link your Steam account to your Paradox account, or if you make a Paradox account. Which, guess what? I don't want to do that. Stop asking me that, Stellaris. Stop asking me. Every time I boot up the game, every time I go multiplayer, you keep asking me if I want to link my Paradox account. No, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it. And, you know, your little blue chicken is not going to convince me to do so. And it's kind of lame that you've essentially put this guy behind a wall that requires me to make a Paradox account. I don't want to have a million accounts just to play a singular game. I'm not going to do it. No, thank you. Ants. They look like ants or maggots. They're like, whatever. They're okay. They're okay. Placing them into D tier. Okay, yeah, you know where they belong to. Absolute goobers. I love these guys. They look like fleas. Absolute complete goobers. They're adorable. I want one of these guys. I want to have one just in my room. Keep him as a pet, just like pat him on the head. They look like they make chirping noises when they're happy and when they're pet. They look absolutely adorable. Whatever this is supposed to be, it's gonna be purged. E tier. Flies, ants that fly, wasps, whatever. I mean, they're okay. Nothing much to say about them. D tier. Yo, I like these guys. They look strong. Like, really strong. Look at them legs. They could probably kick you. And with those tiny appendages at the bottom, they probably have no issue picking up stuff when they drop it. Yeah, I like this guy's design like a lot. I am giving them the B tier actually. Crabs. Definitely crabs. Can you feel it now, Mr. Crab? Can you feel the D tier? Because that's where you belong. I've seen worse, but I've also seen better. Weird, really odd in terms of looks. I will know how to rank these guys. I think I'm gonna put them into D tier. They're like whatever. Reptilians, I feel like these guys will have belonged into the whole reptilians scene. Either that or they should have attempted to give them more arms. If they gave these guys a bunch of other arms, they would have looked like really cool space centipedes. Actually, I think this is what's missing from the whole arthropoid species. We need alien centipedes. They will look pretty cool. On the other hand, the fact that they're not centipedes and they only have, what, like 4 arms, two main arms and like 2 tiny spike-like appendages, they're like, E tier, not a fan of their design. These guys, I don't even get what they're supposed to be. There's absolutely nothing cool and unique about them. E tier. Okay, I like the neon green. The Razor aliens. Yeah, these guys make the gaming mouse pads and mouses and mice, whatever, that you play on. They look kind of cool, not gonna lie. Placing them into C tier. They're okay. The Hadams. Yes, I call them Hadam because on one of my first gameplays of Stellaris, it was a Mordor Empire that was made of these guys, and they were called the Hadam Free Warriors. And the first thing that they did was just raid me because I had a rivalry with a neighbor and they were paid to just raid me. Since then, I've come to dislike them, but their design is pretty strong. I do like their design, even though I dislike them for personal bias reasons. I'm giving them the C tier, actually. Never mind, you know what? I'm bumping them to B tier. I do like them. I do like them. These guys, I don't know what they're supposed to be. They look strange, weird, whatever. Thinking I'll place them into D tier. Okay, I think these guys are meant to be inspired from that one mantis shrimp, you know, the one that can punch with the power of the sun. They look cool, they look really unique, and they look really colorful. I think I am going to place them into B tier. Yeah. Butterflies. Despite being butterflies, there is no butter. Actually, moths. They more look like moths. I do like their design. Really colorful, really cute, really nice. C tier. Not a big fan of these guys. Look like really weird ant spiders, whatever. Think I'm gonna place them into D tier. These ones, I'm not sure what they're supposed to be. They have those really strange human-like eyes, those strange human-like hands, and those really strange worm-like appendages. I think they might be a weird combination of a centipede and a wasp with those tiny feeble wings. They look weird, but unique enough, I suppose, so I'm gonna give them the D tier. Oh, yes, the classic Devouring Hive portrait. If you're playing as a Devouring Hive, chances are that you're probably playing with a species that is using this portrait, and you cannot convince me otherwise. I will say that they fit perfectly for that role, especially with either the Underground or the Voidborn origins. They look really cool. They look really cool. I'm actually gonna give them the B tier. Molluscoids, or molluscoids, I don't know how you pronounce that. Sure, these guys look decent. I'm gonna give them the C tier. They're okay. The Jomars. Remember when I said that I was raided because of a rival that I had neighboring my empire. They just hired raiders to attack me. It was these guys. They were a mega corporation named the Jomar Enterprises. And since then, I've always referred to these species as the Jomar or the Jomars. I do like their design though, and at the same time, I hate it. I like that hard top that they have. I dislike that flashy, weird spot bottom that they have. I don't see how they're supposed to do anything like work. How do they mine for minerals? Okay, maybe I'm talking in a very inadequate way, but I don't see these guys being able to lift anything at all. But they look like absolute goobers. I'm placing them into the goober tier. I like their smile. I don't like those weird flaps around their face, but I do like their smile. They can go into the D tier. Okay, you might think these guys look disgusting, right? And you will be right to say that. But if you pay close attention, they have a worm wriggling around their face. And that shows confidence, right? They're not covering their horribly disfigured, disgusting face. They're flaunting it. They are proud about the giant worm they have coiled around their hand. No, I'm not sure who the species is. Who is it actually? Is it the worm or the guy underneath it? It doesn't matter. How many of you have the confidence to just walk out in public and show your worm open to everyone? Yeah, that takes a lot of confidence. I am going to place them into A tier. I do like their design. Oh, these guys. Yes. They look really threatening. Oh, that mouth look really scary. I do like their design. They look strong. They look advanced. They are going straight up into A tier. Rocky, they have like a rock, like mollusk, I guess, living underneath a rock. Patrick, the star. They're like, whatever, they're okay. I'm placing them to C tier. Oh my god, look at these guys. Huge noser. Look how big that nose is. I am debating whether they belong into the goobers category or into the full citizenship category in like an A tier. But I think I'm gonna place them into the goobers category because look at that nose. It looks so funny. I don't know what to say about these guys. I mean, they're kind of there. Or whatever. D tier. Hey, I do like the Cthulhu tentacled like squid guys. They're really cool. I'm gonna place them into B tier actually. Horrendous. I dislike these guys. I mean, I dislike them, but not that much for the E tier, because I gotta give credits where it's due. Their design looks unique. So D tier, not E tier. Oh, if there was ever a species portrait that would fit for a fallen empire, that would be either fanatic militarist or fanatic spiritualist, it's definitely these guys, 100%. I do like their design a lot. They look really cool. I'm gonna give them the A tier for full citizenship. Another really cool design. Yeah, they feel really unique. They feel really violent. They feel really threatening, but I am giving them the A tier. I love them. Oh, big boys, strong boys. Really cool, really nasty probably to, fight on a 1v1. I am giving them the B tier right next to these other guys. They look really similar. Yo, this is just straight up a Hydra. This is a Hydra. But it's a really cool design nonetheless. They deserve the A tier. I do like their design a lot. Okay, you already know where they belong. You know exactly where they belong. Absolute goobers. And literally next to these guys, absolute goobers. I love these two guys. They look pretty fantastic. Oh, look at them, they're so cute. Fungoids, it's time for the big mushrooms. Okay, so these guys, I have a bit of a weird thing going on. They're the first species I've ever found in Stellaris. I started my first game as United Nations of Earth, and the first Xenos I ever made contact with were these guys, okay? So I am kind of attached to them. The thing is that I found them that one time, and then I've never seen them ever again. Like, ever again. They look like onions. They look like onions. I've said this before. I'm gonna place them into B tier though, because I do like their design. These guys, I don't like their design at all. It looks messy. It looks too overcomplicated. It's just too much, I think. D tier. Kind of whatever. Okay, no, absolutely not. No, I don't like them. I know those are the species that inhabit that system that has like 5 or 6 Gaia worlds, and they can change hyperlanes. Never attack them. That's just the one recommendation I'll give you. Never try to conquer their system. Just follow their quest line, be friendly to them, and at some point they'll just give you a free Gaia world and tell you to screw off. But I do hate their design. I don't see how they will be capable of just doing anything at all. E tier, I don't like them. Questionable. They are really, their shape is really questionable. But I do like their tiny little hands. I am giving them the B tier. Messy. Way too messy. Way too messy. I'm giving them the E tier. Nope. Weird face, weird body, weird head. E tier, I don't like them. They're just a copycat of the other tentacle guys that reviewed before, but worse. I think I'm gonna give them the D tier. These guys are just kind of whatever. I don't like their design at all. E tier. They will have belonged into the molluscoid category better, I think. I don't see how they belong into the fungoid category. I don't get it. I don't really get it. I know. D tier, I suppose. Actually, let's do a C tier. They look good despite that. I don't get how these are fungoids. They have weird feathers or leaves. I feel like those will have fit far more into the plantoid category. Despite that, I don't look their design. It looks weird. They have a hole in the middle of their body. They are shaped in a really odd way. I think I'm gonna place them into E tier. I don't really like them that much. Big giant mushrooms. Hell yeah. Guys will see these Xenos and go like, hell yeah. Oh, I feel like a dwarf or a gnome could live within these guys. Tiny little house and all of that. Yeah, I'm placing them into B tier. Oh, Megamind, but if he was blind and his head was really screwed up and all of his skin was just peeling off. Yeah, they look strong, they look cool, they look imposing, they look imperial, they look weird. I'm giving them the C tier though. They look pretty good. No, they're just too big, too overcomplicated. It's just too much. E tier. No, again, E tier. Nothing to say about these guys. There's nothing cool or good about them. I'm sorry. Yo, straight up nightmare fuel. 100% parasite like hive mind. I do like their design though. It's a really cool design. I am slapping these guys into the B tier. I like them a lot. Okay, really cute, really innocent, not that silly to belong into the goober category, but their design is still pretty good. They don't look like they will be that strong in a fight, but they definitely look smart, like really good researchers. Materialists, definitely. I am placing them into C tier. I like their design. Okay, next is the plantoids, and we are starting off with the plantoid that I like to call human holding a bird. Yeah. No, I don't like this design at all. I don't think I'll ever use it. E tier. It looks It looks bad. There's just nothing to say. It looks really generic. It looks bland. It looks like chicken, boiled chicken with no salt, no pepper, and no side dishes. It's just very bland. I don't get how these guys are plants. I think that they will fit more as aquatic or molluscoids or maybe arthropods. I don't know. They're okay. They're like whatever. D tier. Hive mind. Tree of life with a hive mind. This is the first thing that I think about when I see these guys. I do love their color. I do love their design. They look really, really cool. They look really, really good. I am placing them into A tier for full citizenship. Welcome to my planet. I mean, I don't know what to say here. They look good, they look bad at the same time, but they're pretty cool. I don't know what exactly, but I like their design. I can't tell if that thing protruding from the middle is like a sensory organ, a stalk, or if it's like a weapon. They look like they will shoot that and it will have venom inside of it. I think they deserve at least C tier. Plantoid devouring swarm. If there was ever a plantoid devouring swarm, it will be these guys. Okay. A man-eater as an alien? Yeah, cool idea. Yeah, I like it, I like it. I'm giving them the B tier. I don't even know what they're supposed to be. They're going to E tier. Yes, yes. Okay, probably some of my favorite species portraits in the game. They're sentient alien cacti. Look at them. They look strong. They look threatening. Look at their teeth. Their bodies look solid. I like these guys a lot. Ooh, a lot. I love this design. I am giving it the S tier. I do love these guys, and look at the tiny butterflies around them. They also look like peaceful, gentle giants if they wanted to. Whatever this is supposed to be, it's gonna belong into the E tier. Really colorful, but I think they've overdone it a bit here on the design. Shriveled up, whatever. I think D tier. Nah, this just looks like a very bad mammalian, but they've drawn, you know, leaves on its body. E tier. This will be an insectoid. I don't know why it's a plant. I mean, it's got leaves. I guess that's the only reason. But then why does it have the pinchers next to the mouth? They're okay, I guess. D tier. This is just rotten tomatoes. They're just tomatoes that are completely rotten. Yeah, I will harvest these guys to throw them at someone. But the design is pretty unique though, I gotta give them that. D tier, they will work as scarecrows. These guys are just giant trees. I mean, not much to say about them. They don't look that bad, but they're really bland. D tier, I guess. Yo, I like their design. I like how strident they are. I like that they only got like 2 arms, and despite of that, they look very mobile. I see no eyes, I see no mouth, but they still look pretty good. I like them. I like them. I am actually placing them into C tier. Look at their face. Okay, yeah, 100% goobers. They go into the goober category. Yo, probably one of my favorite plantoid species design, if not one of my favorite species from the entire game. They look really good. They look really strong. Yeah, I am giving them the S tier 100%. I do like their design a lot. Look at them. Yeah, no, nothing special, nothing cool about these guys. They're whatever. D tier. Alright, it's time for the lithoids. I think this guy's design looks pretty bad. I don't know why they wanted to make them look human. They are not really that fitting. There is nothing really cool or good about them. It's probably gonna offend a lot of people because I know that People do love to play as lithoids. I'm not a big fan of lithoids, unfortunately. I am placing them into D tier. Okay, this is a bit of an upgrade. Still, they don't look like the kind of thing I would expect to see into a spaceship, but they do look pretty good. I am giving them the C tier. Magma shards, floating magma shards, or obsidian shards. They look good. They look good. Yeah, I think they definitely belong into the C tier. Rock dogs. I see these guys and I think about dogs if they were made out of a rock. Despite that, I don't like their design that much. I think they're gonna go into D tier. There's worse designs. At least it's a bit unique, but it's not that good. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I see their eyes. I see their eyes there on their neck. They have their eyes on their neck. You know, they remind me of Smoke from Dark Souls 1. They remind me of Smoke. Yeah, kind of. I think it's because of the neck. But I am not a big fan of their design. I think I'm going to place them into the D tier. They look okay. They look okay. Kind of human-like. Lithoids, I like the way that their mouth just splits in the middle. It looks pretty cool. And how there is light coming from there. Just, you know, shows that there is a lot of heat underneath. I could totally see these guys just chomping on a delicious rock. Yeah, they look pretty decent actually. I am gonna give them the C tier. No. Okay, is it a unique design? Yes. Is it a good design? No. This will not be able to live in a society made just of itself. This will not be able to excavate. This will not be able to do agriculture. This won't be able to do much. I don't get how they're supposed to work, how they move, or how they do just anything. They're unique, but just because they're unique, that doesn't mean they're good. I'm giving them the A tier. Big floating rocks, mysterious big floating rocks. Are they unique? Yes. Are they better than the other guys? Yes. Are they good? Debatable. I'm giving them the D tier. Ew. It's all I can really say. Ew. No, I really don't like this design. I don't get why is there like worms or eyes coming from their head. D tier. Same. These guys are also going to D tier. I don't really find much or anything interesting about them. Lithoid horses and unicorns. It's what I think when I see them. I mean, they're okay, but nothing really special about them. D tier. They look precious. They look precious, but once again, it's the same design as before. It's just a bunch of floating rocks. It's whatever. D tier. This one is just like crystal, but they're not floating. They're just interconnected by those weird nerves or wires. I do like the design of their hands. That looks really unique. Having them just be, you know, like they look like your average lithoid, just a bunch of rocks clumped together. But I like the idea that they just have those living wires or like nerves that are completely exposed and they connect the rest of their body together. I think I'm gonna give them the C tier. Okay, I don't really know what to say about these guys. They're kind of similar to these, just like big spiders or insects made out of rocks. And giving them the D tier, or like whatever. No, I don't really like their design. E tier, there isn't much to say about them. Same as these guys. I'm not a big fan of it. There's no point hiding it. There's no point hiding it at this point. I'm just not a fan of lithoids. I'm sorry, berate me in the comments if you will. But I think that the lithoids, not for gameplay, but just in terms of, you know, species portraits, they're kind of an L. I don't really want to play lithoids in my playthroughs, mostly because I don't want to use these species portraits. I think that's the main issue I have with lithoids. Okay, time for the necroids. Alright, this first guy on the list, I like his design. I like how you can see some kind of organ, which I assume is the heart, just pulsating underneath his chest or her chest or whatever. I am giving them the A tier. Really cool looking. A tier. Same as these guys, I do like the idea they just are like a skull inside of a spacesuit. Who really, yeah, the Necroids, I think Paradox did a really good job. They feel really unique, they feel really cool. I do like how Necroids look like. This is a weird mix between a Necroid and a Fungoid. Despite that, I don't really like them. I don't like the clothes they're wearing. I don't like their design. I am placing them into E tier. Okay, ghosts. They are a ghost. Like, you can see that their head is like a hologram. You can like see it glitch out every now and then. It's a hologram, and I do like the idea of just semi-machine-like hologram resurrected from the dead. Yes, really cool. They definitely look like smart researchers, militarists and materialists. That's what I'm getting from seeing these guys. I'm placing them into B tier. I do like them. Really good design, really unique. If I'm ever playing as spiritualist Necroids, I am 100% picking this as my species portraits. Definitely picking these guys. I am going to place them into C tier. Okay, these are the Necroids I don't really get. I don't get what they're meant to represent. I'm not a big fan of how their head just curves around. They're kind of there. They look like, they remind me of mummies. And I will say D tier, whatever. Again, another really good Necroid spiritualist. Yeah, they look like they belong in a cult. You can't even tell what this is because they're completely covered by their clothes. You literally cannot tell. There could be anything underneath, or maybe those clothes are part of their body. You cannot tell, and I think it's the mystery surrounding them that makes them so unique. I'm giving them the C tier. They look pretty good. Okay, I think there is a renowned paragon that you can get that is the same as these guys. He never dies. Xandor, I think it's his name. They look okay, whatever. I don't get how they're supposed to work or do stuff because they seem to be just connected to something. I don't think I would use them as a species portrait, but I won't dislike having them around. I think I'm gonna give them D tier. Yo, out of all of the Necroid species portraits, these guys are my favorite. I love their design. If there ever was a Necroid hive mind, then this will be it. They are definitely a Necroid hive mind. I love their design a lot. I am placing them into S tier. Fanatic Purifiers. This is all I'm gonna say. Fanatic Purifiers. They are going straight into B tier. I like their design. This design is just ugly. They look ugly. There is nothing appealing about these species portraits. There's nothing appealing about playing as them or against them. Nah, E tier. Yeah, you know where they belong. You know. Look at those weird flaps. Look at that small smile. They look really mischievous. They look evil, but I cannot get over how much they look like absolute goobers. Ooh, strong, threatening, solid, simple, and yet effective. Really good design. They are really solid. I like them. Not an S tier, but I am definitely giving them the A tier. I do like their design a lot. This is just too much. This feels like they try to go for a vampire Strigoi-like design, kind of like a space Nosferatu, but I think they've overdone it a little bit. Because you see, you play as these guys, right? And there is no way that you are picking this species portrait and your civics are going to be something like fanatic pacifist, or, you know, you're going to be a good guy. There is no way that you play as a good guy and you have this as a species portrait. Yeah, I am not a big fan of them. I think they've overdone it. They tried to make them too edgy, so I am giving them the D tier. Yeah, those are probably, like, out of the entire bunch of Necroids, those are the second weakest one. With this one being the weakest, I think these are like the second weakest. Strong contender with these guys. But I am assigning them the E tier. I don't really like them. Now for the aquatic species. Okay, we have this is just a jellyfish. I mean, yeah, that's it. That's literally it. It's just a jellyfish. Whatever. D tier. Oh no, E tier. I don't like them. There is something here about these guys. There is something about these multi-limbed Xenos. Something appeals to me. I cannot tell you exactly what. I don't know, but I think I'm gonna place them into C tier. Okay, yeah. They are simple, but they are effective. Really simple design, really effective though. I like them. I like them. They're good. They're good. I am giving them the C tier. Yeah, they're okay. There's not much to say about them, but their design works. Oh, yes, probably one of my favorites from the entire aquatic species pack. Space dolphins. Look at them. They look strong. They look threatening. They look really authoritarian. Definitely they look like they will be led by a dictatorial or dictatorship regime. They look like warriors. I love their design. Yes, I am placing them into S tier. They look really cool. Not much to say about these guys. They're whatever. Nah, E tier. I don't even know where to begin with this species. It looks horrible. It's exactly like the lithoid one that I talked about before. Like these guys, they're the exact same. They're the exact same species. They're just like a tree. And yeah, again, they look unique, but they look horrible. I don't get it. How these guys move? How do they pilot spaceships? How do they do anything ever? They're just connected to a tree. No, they're going to the A tier. I'll never play as these guys. Really cliche species, aquatic. They're okay. Whatever. Maybe D tier. No, nothing special about them. Nothing appealing. These guys even more so. There is absolutely nothing that appeals to me about them. They're going to D tier. I mean, they're still better than the ones in the E tier, but not by much. No. This feels like another design that was completely overdone. And I don't like that they're just floating like that. It implies that, you know, wherever they are is just a place that's filled with water. It implies, because they don't look like they're floating, you know, through rockets or propulsion or mind stuff. It just looks like they're floating in water. So why, if I am playing them with a desert as their, you know, starting planet, what are they gonna just be floating, swimming in the desert? Yeah, nah, I'm giving them the E tier. Pat. Threatening, 100%. These guys fit as an criminal syndicate, mega corporation. Definitely. They have a lot of personality. I'll give them that. Like, they have a lot of personality. I actually am gonna give them the... yeah, never mind. I'm giving them the C tier. I want to give them D tier, but I think C tier fits them best. Those guys are just weird. I don't know what to say. There's another design that feels like it was overdone a lot. I'll give them an E tier. Okay, if I've ever seen a necroid aquatic species, they will be it. This feels like a very unique design. I do like the idea of a species whose, you know, skin is just this really soft membrane that is so soft and so fragile and slimy that you can essentially just see through it. You can see the organs, you can see everything. I do like their design a lot. This is a really cool, it's unique, it's original, and, you know, it's something that sounds good in theory, and they've managed to make it look good in practice. I am definitely giving them the A tier. Water mushrooms, no. E tier, you look bad. Whoever these guys are, E tier, I don't like you at all. And now we have reached the toxoids. Alright, let's see the toxoids. This guy looks like that one dude from Overwatch. You know who I'm talking about. The guy who shoots junk. Roadhog. Yes, that's his name. Okay. Yes, we are getting somewhere with this design. Definitely looks like a cool alien. I am giving it the C tier. The Feralians. I call these guys the Feralians. Feralians, yes, they look cool. They look good. They look good. I like their design a lot. I'm giving them the A tier. Yes, yes, yes. I like these guys' design. I like it a lot. They look funny. They look innocent. They look threatening. They look smart. They look everything you want them to look like. Yes, I am giving the three-headed guys the A tier. 100%. They deserve it. Yo, okay, this is such a cool design. I mean, it looks disgusting, but it's a cool design. It is not overdone. It is not too much. It's like on the border of being too much, but at the same time, it looks really good. They look like a good, strong slave species. If you're ever having an origin that requires you to start with a secondary slave species like Necroids do, I will pick these guys. What I've done in one playthrough, I had these guys as my slave species, and my main species was these guys. And my headcanon on how the Necroids worked is that these larvae initially will start growing within the body of these other species that I call the thralls. So they were being used as live incubators. Like you can see the larva inside of their head. And the moment they become, a full species through the whole Necroid thing, it was just the larva emerging from this cocoon. And, since it will still require some vil fluids in order to survive, after bursting out, it will be transferred within this machinery. Okay, yeah, this was my personal headcanon. This was my personal story that I built around that empire, and I enjoyed it a lot. So, for them, I'm actually gonna give them the A tier. I like their design. Hey, look at these guys. Okay, okay, okay. I have mixed feelings. They look silly, not silly enough to go into the goober category, but they look good. I like how they're just floating. They're just like floating midgets. Yes, their design is good. Like the Necroids, I think Paradox did a really good job with the Toxoid species pack. They look really, really good. I'm actually giving them the A tier. Yes, yes, another really good design. They look very alien. I'm currently playing as this species, and they are a mega corporation criminal heritage. It feels like it fits really, really well for them. And I'm doing a playthrough where I'm picking no traditions for violence. I'm just going like, full diplomacy, subterfuge, politics, mercantile, and I have no ships whatsoever. I'm the year 2300 and I still have only like 20 corvettes. That's it, 20 corvettes with the starting game design. I have absolutely zero military ships, and the way that I'm playing it is that I'm essentially just forming a federation. I have a really strong guy, another strong empire in my federation, so I'm going to try to place these guys and just don't do conflict. I'll make other do the conflicts for me. I like their design a lot. They feel really sleek. Yes, I am putting them into the A tier. No, this design doesn't look good. This was overdone once again. It's like a mix of an aquatic, toxic, irradiated wasteland kind of mutant. I don't really like their design. I think I am actually gonna give them the A tier. This one is a bit too silly for me. I think it was overdone a little bit too much. I don't get why their helmet is so big and their bodies are so small. They probably have a really, really big head underneath as well. And that's probably also why they need a little platform to just, float them around, because otherwise they won't be able to move. The weight will be too much. But no, I don't really like their design. I'm gonna give them the A tier. Good design here. Interesting choice. It looks like a really bulky, big human. or a humanoid, but it doesn't have a head, and that's the interesting part. Or like the head is within the torso. It feels really unique. I like it a lot. It is a strong contender. I am actually gonna give it the A tier. It looks really cool. It looks really cool. I like this one a lot too. Okay, they look really cool. Again, this is another example of a design that, you know, tries to go in a certain direction and it's not overdone. They could have added more details to this, but it would have ruined it. The way it looks now, it looks perfect. Yes, this is also an A tier. So this is a very strong A tier for me. These guys I don't really like. I don't think this is what a advanced galactic civilization should look like. They look dirty, they look feeble despite having muscles, and they look sickly. I'm not really a big fan of their design, but I guess it's not the worst design either. I am placing them into C tier. They're okay. No, this is okay. See, this is the kind of design that I don't like because we've already seen this. This is the gecko species from the reptilians. It just got recolored a little bit and the shape of the head was changed. Yeah, no, I am actually giving them the E tier. I don't like them. This is just a worm inside of a vat that cannot move, cannot do anything, and has to rely on outside drones to do everything for it. What's the deal with it? How did they even evolve to the point of being able to construct these drones? I feel like they have a really strong potential for roleplay. I feel like this is a species that was created by another species, or a species that, you know, underwent through some cataclysmic event. They have a lot of potential for roleplay, that's all I can say. So this is a species that has a lot of potential. I am placing it into the C tier, just because of the potential for roleplay they have. Oh, yes, yes, good design, good design. Really strong, really bulky. I like the engines on the back. I am 100% giving these guys the B tier. Really, really good design. I like it. No, this is overdone a little bit. I don't get what's with their sacks on the back. I don't know why they're holding their hands, quote unquote, like that, but I am not a big fan of these species. I am gonna slap it into the C tier, yes. Okay, I almost forgot about the species from the Machine Age DLC. I know that they're meant to be a lot because every species portrait kind of like evolves with their cybernetics. I'm not gonna review every single evolution. I'm not gonna rank every single one of them. I'm just gonna rank the robot stage and the first biological stage. It's what I am going to do. So we have the basic humans. Those are the ones that, you know, can evolve. I think that's pretty cool. Definitely has, you know, potential in terms of roleplay. I am gonna give them the C tier just because, again, I mean, I placed the first two humans on A tier, but I'm gonna place these guys on C tier because it's just humans again. Actually, you know what? No, never mind. I am gonna bump it up on the B tier. It is essentially just a redo of the humans, but the fact that they can evolve with like different portraits with the cybernetics, that is kind of cool, I suppose, enough to bump them into the B tier. Okay, this is whether this is supposed to be like another evolving type of species. I mean, whatever. Kind of redundant, if you ask me. I feel like their main shtick is just the gist that they can, you know, evolve with their synthetics. I think like that's the only cool thing these guys seem to have in the Machine Age. Their design don't look really like much. Yeah, same thing here, but I don't even like their basic design, honestly, to begin with. I'm giving them the D tier. They're kind of meh, whatever. This is another really bad one. I don't really like this one for whatever reason. Not a big fan of this design. It looks really meh, if you ask me personally. Placing them to E tier. Rick the Cube. Okay, this one I'm really conflicted about. On one hand, it looks pretty amazing. It looks really unique. It looks pretty mysterious, and I like the design. On the other hand, it's not a cube. This doesn't look like a cube. It looks like it's too long to be a cube. It doesn't look symmetrical. That this is not a cube. Yeah, that bothers me. It bothers me that this is called Rick the Cube and it's not cube. But it still feels like a really unique species. Yes, I think I'm gonna give it the... Yeah, I'm gonna give it the A tier. Would have been an S tier if it was like an actual cube. Paradox, just so you know, but this doesn't look like a cube to me. The albino cats that have no fur. Yeah, they look pretty cool. Definitely look like the kind of a militaristic or mercantile type of empire, 100%. You know what? They have a good design. It's pretty decent. I am giving it the B tier. Whatever these guys are supposed to be, they're not doing it correctly. I don't like them. E tier. Okay, I do like the idea of a giant mosquito. I do like the idea of alien giant mosquitoes. Devouring Swarm much? Huh. Yeah, I'm actually gonna give these guys the C tier. They look pretty good. Yes, this is another good design. This is a really, really good design. They look like they will have really strong leaders and they would have a lot of slaves and servants for them. Yeah, I'm ranking these guys pretty much on the B tier. Funnily enough, their robot version looks kind of worse than, you know, they do. So I'm actually placing the robot version in C tier. Same goes for the mosquitoes. They are going to go into the C tier. I like their biological counterparts more, honestly. I mean, yeah, the mosquitoes are also C tier, but I like them more than their robotic counterpart. I do like these guys. They look scaly, they look very reptilian-y, they look really, really, really cool. I like their design. It's simple and yet effective. Definitely will see them in a type of criminal heritage mega corporation. So I'm actually gonna give them the B tier. These robots look pretty okay. They don't look like much. They look kind of worse than the robots that I said I liked, the one that I placed in A tier. They're like kind of whatever, nothing really special about them. They don't look simple enough to be effective, but they're not too overcomplicated. So I think I'm actually gonna place them into C tier. Definitely good worker robots. These robots I don't really like. Their design is kind of weird. They just got a wriggly worm. I don't get what's the deal with it. And if you look at their face, they look like dispenser machines. It kind of look like you give the worm a coin and, you know, a soda. It kind of look like you give the worm a coin and a soda or a Coca-Cola is just gonna drop from their face. Yeah, it's a pretty bad design. I cannot lie. I think I'm gonna put them into A tier. Big owl dudes. Yeah, not much to say about them. Just regular owls, avians, whatever. E tier. These guys look kind of unique. They're not that bad, but there isn't much to say about them. I think I'm gonna put them into the C tier. The robot version of the owls from before, they kind of remind me of the tubes next to their face. They kind of remind me of, you know, Predator from Alien vs. Predator. They look better than their owl counterparts. I think I'm gonna place them into a C tier. I'm not a huge fan of whatever this is supposed to be. E tier. I guess these robots are kind of decent. Not the best. They could have made them a little bit better. I think they kind of, funnily enough, lack in detail, or like they have a lot of details, but none of the details are interesting. Like there is nothing interesting about these guys. Absolutely nothing. I'm gonna place them into D tier. The non-robot version of those robots with the worm. Again, I don't like them. This is an L design. I mean, the only thing they have going for them is that it's just they're holding that worm and that's it. Like, okay, so? And yeah, sure, it's what I said before about flaunting your worm and showing your worm in public, but nah, A tier. This one's really bad. This one looks like, it doesn't even look like official content. This one looks like it was just ripped or pulled off from a mod or something. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. I'm giving it the A tier. I don't really like it. This also looks like it doesn't belong in the game. Why does it look like it came from a mod? I mean, it looks better than the other guy. I like the jacket. Cool jacket, but it looks kind of bad. Is it just me, or the portraits from the Machine Age are just not that good? I think they're just not that good. I'm gonna give it the D tier. It's okay, but it's not that good. Wow, more owls. Great. Yeah, E tier again. L design. These guys, I don't even know what they're supposed to be. They look really bad. E tier. Again, another L design. I think that the problem they did with the species portraits in Machine Age is they focused too much on the idea of, you know, having them evolve with the cybernetics, and they ended up not being, you know, good, like their default state being good enough. I mean, all of them, I think the cat one is probably the best one. But yeah, like, look at this guy. It doesn't really look good. It looks bad. And yeah, it belongs into the E tier as well. Okay, this one I am okay with. This one I'm actually okay with. This looks decent. It looks good. It's just like, you know, a human, but he has 4 eyes and an additional set of limbs. They're much weaker, and then you got the really strong arms. I can see like a story around them. Like they use their, you know, their main arms to do menial brute force work, and the small hands are meant for, you know, fabricating stuff, using computers, doing more delicate kind of work. I like them. I like them. This is a good design. It's not unique, but it's good. It's good. I think I'm gonna give it the C tier, actually. This might probably be one of the worst robot species designs I've ever seen. I am giving it the A tier. I don't like it at all. Again, this is just another generic robot, but you do know that I like generic robots. It has a decently good amount of detail to it. I am actually gonna give it the C tier. Yeah, it belongs in the C tier. This is a decent design. You know, this is actually a decent design for a robot. Again, another L design. I mean, yeah, obviously it's meant to be like a mix between a humanoid insect, but we've seen these already. There's nothing unique about this one. It's just a human with a carapace on it. Nothing special, but better than most of the designs in A tier. So I am gonna give it the D tier. Okay, and this is it. We've reached the end of this tier list. So you can see all of the goobers at the bottom. The E tier is just for the undesirables. The D, you know, indentured servitude. You got the basic subsistence guys right there. The ones that actually give decent conditions to, the ones that I would want as full citizens of my empire, and the S tier for, you know, what I would play as, what I would want to, you know, just colonize my planets in general. This was it. This was the end of the video. I know there is a few more species that I had to rank, but honestly, I cannot remember which ones they were. So there's you're probably gonna find a couple of them missing. I apologize for that. I don't think I was able to actually accurately cover all of them. I obviously didn't cover the, you know, species portraits from the Crisis or the Paragons or whatever, because yeah, I only tried to cover the ones that you can play as. With this being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below telling me what you thought of it. As always, I would like to thank my channel members for joining and supporting me and my channel directly. It is very much appreciated. It means the world to me. And if you would like to join them, you can do so through the join button down below. With this being said, I hope you have a good night, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.